Welcome back to part two. I was just talking to Leo Preissler here about his trading journey, and we're now going to pick up where we left off, because he just said that over the last, let's say, 6 months, he's been up 40% in his trading. But let's talk a little bit more about your trading per se. So let's talk about the technicals. So for example, do you log your trades? What do you do to assess and make sure that you're on top of all your trading?
So what I do is I track every single trade. I track the currency, the date and the time, the entry, the exit, stop loss, take profit, the stop loss in pip, the stop loss in the take profit in pip, my pre-risk to reward, because when you use moving averages as a target, they might come closer to the price, and so you end up having a post-risk to reward, which might be different from the pre one. And then, of course, how much money I made and the amount of pips I lost or made. So that's how I track my performance, and I think it's very crucial to my trading, because I can see, let's say, my post-risk to reward gets lower, and in my trading I always want to have trades that give me a risk-to-reward ratio of at least 3-to-1. So I'm not bothered about risk-to-reward ratios of 2-to-1, something like this. And the way I track my performance just gives me insights of my trading, and I can just really focus on what's important. And for me, it's risk-to-reward ratio.
And so exactly, that's when you learned the swing trading. That was basically all I talked about, was risk reward. But and so as a result, what's your win rate like? Because a lot of people who get into trading are obsessed with being right as much as possible, but you've already learned that's not necessarily the case. I
mean, I get it, it's satisfying to be right a lot, but this is not how you might end up making most money, and my win rate is between 40 and 45%. So that's where my sweet spot is, and I have an average risk to reward ratio of 3.6-to-1. Right. So, and when you calculate it, that's basically how I make money, and now for me it's okay to have a win rate of 40%, because I know that I can make money on it. Yeah. And I have the confidence in my strategies because I backtested a lot of them, especially the divergence trades. So basically we have thematic trades.
Well, let's talk about that actually. So the swing trading styles, without going into too much specifics because they're not my stuff, but let's talk about your swing trading style. So you're just about to start breaking it down. Let's start off, you've just mentioned thematic trade. Okay. What does that mean? Tell our viewers.
So a thematic trade is a trade where I look at the bigger picture, and I might look at correlations to different markets. I might look, let's say, what the dollar index is doing, and I just look at different aspects. I take the bigger picture and break it down to the smaller time frames and just look at everything, and then I might place a thematic trade. It's usually a trade where you get a great risk reward, but you might end up having 5 losing trades before you actually get the winner. So this is more a methodology where you try to get bigger moves, and these are thematic trades. And then on the other side we have setup trades. So if I take a setup trade, I don't really have to think a lot. I'm just reacting to the market. If it does X, Y, and Z, I'm doing this or that. So these are setup trades, and they occur more often than actually a thematic trade, because you get more divergences. Like a divergence trade could be a setup trade. And so that's basically what I do. And then, of course, when trades are called in the day trading and the swing trading app, then I take the trades.
We have an app on Pelican, which you're involved, you're a member of.
Which is helpful for swing traders.
Exactly, yeah. So so you have 3 different sort of types of trades that you might be following me on. And then your other trades, which are strategy-based trades or thematic trades. Let's talk about the thematic trades. What gave you the idea of these big, like I say, theme trades?
I mean, I was inspired by the book Market Wizards, and actually I liked the idea of riding a long-term trend. When you have a trend that lasts long and you can add several times and have a nice pyramiding, that's how I feel you make good money and big money. Because when you add a position very early, you will have a low win rate on these trades. But once you get a winner, you can make, say, I don't know, 30 to 40% of your account on one trade, and it's going to be a longer trade. But you get in, you trade, you go with the trend to trade your stop, get in again, trade your stop when it goes in your direction. Then you can build a huge position. And yes, but this is actually what I want to focus on in 2018. So I want to learn how to be able to spot these bigger trends, and then how to get in and manage a position. So that's like #1 on my goal list, because I really feel like that's make
Those
money.
sort of trades, your bread and butter are your strategy-based
Yeah.
trades, but there's a great deal of satisfaction with holding a trade for a prolonged amount
Yep.
of time, yeah? And so why is that? I know the answer to that, but why is it to
Just
you?
a nice challenge, you know.
Yeah.
You're just in the trade and you try to get everything out of this trade, and you're trying to manage the position. And it might be a roller coaster sometimes, and you might get stopped. But ultimately, this is just more satisfying to get these bigger trades, and the challenge is greater. And
Okay, let's talk about some, you said about market wizards. Who's inspired you then?
I really liked EzeeTrader.
Yeah.
Even if he was trading, he was doing some automated trading. I like the things that he said, and my favorite quote of him is, there are good trades, bad trades, winning trades, and losing trades. That means you can actually have a winner, but it could have been a bad trade, like pre-NFP. Get in. Well, that was luck. And you can also have a good trade that was a loser. So from a psychological point of view, this is just great to understand it, that a losing trade might not have been a bad trade. It's just, you know, when you look at over 100 trades, you might have, if you have a win rate of 40%, you might have 15 losing trades in a row. That's just statistics. You can't change it. That's the way it works. And you know, you could see it as the money you have to pay to be in this business because it's so accessible, but you know, it's just gotta accept it.
Okay, so EzeeTrader, anybody else from those old books or whatever you've read?
Jesse Livermore and George Soros. So actually, George Soros said something that inspired me a lot, and the quote I just said from EzeeTrader and George Soros' quote, they're great. And his quote was, it's not about being right or wrong, it's about how much money you make when you're right and how much money you lose when you're wrong. So there again, it's not about win rate, it's about risk-reward ratio, and all the great people say it, and I truly agree with them.
We leave the win rates, the high win rate stuff, to the marketeers out there.
Yes.
The only shame is that that's how a lot of people get into this industry. Retail traders get in because they get drawn in on the high win rate stuff, which isn't the true secret to success, is it?
And they might end up saying, well, if I use a stop, I will take a loss, but if I don't use a stop, well, then I never have to take a loss, but that's how you blow accounts.
So, okay, sorry, you were talking about, we're in 2018 now. What's your goals? You were just about to talk about, okay, your aspirations for the future.
Well, I have long-term and short-term goals, and usually but I think people in general underestimate what can be done in 10 years and overestimate what can be done in one. So my goals right now are to really get in these long-term trends and have a great risk reward in them and learn to add to positions. So this is where what I want to focus on in 2018. And I work part-time in the family business. It's a foundation management company, and my next goal is to double my salary that I get from there, and because
from trading.
Yeah.
So to earn twice as much from your trading than you do.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's my next goal, and then over the long term, because I love it and I'm so grateful to discover this passion at such an early age, and I think like from my age-wise, I got a kickstart and I want to develop it. So the goal is over the next 10 years to grow my account is just 7 figures, and this is ultimately why I trade. And it's just, I think having a plan can help you, because then you know why you're doing what you do, and then you know why you should rather back test at home instead of going to a party that you might regret up the day after. So, sure, you need work-life balance, but it's just, I know where my priorities are and I'm going for it.
Very wise words here. It was quite amazing, really.
Thanks.
Such wise words for such a young man. But I wish you every success in the future.
Thanks.
And thank you ever so much for coming on the program. In
appreciate
fact,
it.
would you be willing to come on again, maybe in a
Yes.
year or so's time, and see how we can see how you're progressing from there?
Actually, I was thinking about like having this interview and just having it on my PC and just watching it again in 5 or 10 years, just to see how if I achieved my goals or not. I like the idea. Let's do
Brilliant.
it.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
I'm sure you'll all agree it's a great interview there. Leo Preissler, thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thanks.
My name's Charlie Burton. Trade safely out there.